Hey, what's going on there, folks? Welcome back here to another update on this end of the weekend. It is Sunday, January 21st, 2024, just about noon here along the west coast in California. Latest activity shows a 1.4 earthquake here into the, looks like right around the San Francisco Bay Area. We'll get to the earthquake activity here in just a little bit. Want to cover the potential for some G2 class storming conditions here in the next couple nights or so. Looks like this has been pushed off to about tomorrow night for this time period, but we are expecting a slight glancing blow here from a CME that kicked off there a couple days ago. Notice that that's heading towards Earth in the green dot here. You can see Earth. I'm not expecting anything huge. They are actually being decent in terms of predicting a strong storm here. G2 storm is a little bit up there. It was originally a G1 class storm last night, so it looks like things have advanced a little bit in terms of the potential dynamics of this CME. So we'll watch for that tomorrow night. It looks like that's beginning. Tomorrow night, January 22nd time frame. Not quite there yet. We're currently sitting at 21st at 2000 tomorrow night. We'll check that out. It looks like maybe into the day as well on Tuesday. So we got Monday night, and Tuesday to look forward to in terms of maybe some auroras in the forecast. I know it's been a little calm, a little quiet. This was not a huge CME, but it did blast off a partial halo CME in the Earth-directed view. To an extent, so we'll see how this, see if it kicks up any nice auroras out here. Not here in California, obviously. More than likely, we'll see that down to the, maybe to some of the upper tier states. We'll check out the forecast map a little bit later on this evening, once they put out an updated one. The rest of the space weather activity here, looks like we're crackling a little bit here on the solar flare detection chart. Crackling, meaning going up here towards the M flare category, and I can pretty much assume which one that is. It's going to be 3559 up here, about the only dynamic sunspot that is showing some growth here, and crackling with some C flares. It does have the potential here within the core to produce maybe some M flare activity. The current threat level shows 99% chance for C flare, M flare at 50. X-flare has been updated to about 10% chance. So as long as we see that stair-stepping ladder right here in terms of intensity, that's when we could see some large M flares, or maybe even that 10% chance for an X flare. So keep an eye on that. Again, we're currently flaring with some C flare activity in the 2.6 range. All right, earthquake activity. Let's get back to that real quick, see what's going on in terms of global activity. The latest one shows a quake over around the Philippines within the last hour. Nothing big, just a 4.4. Yesterday, goodness, we had a lot of large earthquakes scattered about the plates here. One noticeable effect, it looks like some big-time movement out here across the area of South America. This is where we did see that super deep 6.6. Looks like it's putting a strain up at the surface levels here across a broad region of the subduction zone. That's going to be the Peru-Chile Trench here. Seeing some more shallower earthquake activity since those deep earthquakes there yesterday. Looks like the last one here, 4.6, 5.1, relatively shallow, and it's in a zone here outside of the Santiago, Chile area, just offshore, where a lot of the strain builds up here. We've seen some large earthquakes out here historically, and in fact, the largest earthquake ever recorded in our times was back in the 60s there. We've seen that 9.5 earthquake, very strong earthquake, and that area, goodness. I don't recall the last time we've seen, obviously 9-pointers aren't going to pop up every year, but I kind of want to see when our last decent sized earthquake was out there, and decent meaning above 6.5 for the past well, let's just do 7 because 6.5 is fairly common in that area. I just want to go back since about we'll go 1955. There's probably going to be a lot, but I just want to take a look down here and see what we have in terms of the amount of time that may have passed since the last big earthquake. We'll use this region and we'll check it out, see what's up. I'm surprised it wasn't really all that large of a number. 34 earthquakes here of 7.0 and above. So the last one looks like back in 2016, a little bit further south here than our current shallow activity near Santiago. Back in 2015, we did have a 8.3 just north of the Santiago, Chile area. And as you can see, 7s out here are quite common. And it's been a few years, right? It's been almost, it's been 8 years since we've seen anything of a decent magnitude here. 7.6. Of course, the big one was back in 1960, the Great Chilean earthquake there, 9.5. A little bit further south of the Santiago, Chile area. But this whole subduction zone is it's huge, large, and can accumulate quite a bit of strain in a short amount of time. So I wouldn't doubt if we start to see some activity within that area in terms of larger scale movement here soon. Remember that deeper activity does trigger a lot of strain up here across this region, and this looks to be the area right now showing some elevated movement. All right, rest of the world here. Excuse me. A little bit of movement out here across California today. Nothing big, nothing really out of the ordinary here. Let's check out the 2.5 map and above. Shows we had a couple earthquakes there after midnight. 3.1 in Nevada, and then a 2.6 over here about 7 o'clock this morning outside the Ridgecrest area. Aside from that, most of the movement you see on the map is very small microquake activity. That goes for the I think these two quakes are from yesterday, 2.1, 2.5. So not a whole lot going on up here on the map. It is the weekend. The USGS really doesn't show the earthquakes that are under 2.5 until they get into the office on, Monday morning. Tomorrow, hopefully they'll look at any earthquakes that may have taken place up here. Let me check out the Yellowstone overview real quick. Yellowstone supervolcano in Wyoming. Doesn't show a lot here, folks. It looks like some of these may be offline, in fact. I don't know what happened here. It looks like those waves from that large earthquake yesterday, that deep, large one down in the South America region, took these offline. See, roughly about the same time, you can see that that 6.5 deep earthquake there in South America. Followed up by some S waves on that seismograph station, and the majority of those picked them up fairly nicely. This is not local seismic activity, but thousands of miles away, large earthquake can definitely show up on these seismograph stations. But as far as local earthquake activity, some of these are offline here. A couple of these, it doesn't look like we're seeing anything localized. It would show up, I think, on some of these other stations, and it's not. So quiet conditions prevailing there at Yellowstone National Park. Oklahoma, handful of earthquakes out here yesterday, maybe one after midnight as well. A couple oil fields getting hit. Nothing going on out here across the eastern portion of the country. Puerto Rico down here where the Caribbean plate gets squeezed between the two larger plates around it. Well, got a small amount of activity kicking up here. Nothing of incredible notice here. One that stood out to me yesterday was the super deep earthquake here, 4.1. Haven't really seen any effects from that 4.1, but definitely looks like there's some deeper activity around the Muriatos Trough. That was 169 kilometers deep for that earthquake, 4.1. So we'll watch the surface area, see if we can't get any, or see if it doesn't start up some shallow uptick. Alaska, still seeing some movement up there around that area where the 5-pointer hit here a couple days ago now, outside the Fairbanks area. Mostly confined to one area around the Aurora the Aurora Lodge here. A couple different fault systems up here. It does look like it's on the crest here of this mountain range. Satellite imagery shows, well, it doesn't show a whole lot up here. Yeah, just kind of an interesting one there. I don't believe that's anything volcanic related. Some people were saying that might be associated with a volcano, but I'm starting to lean towards earthquake activity. But we'll continue to watch that, see if anything takes place up there. Across the Hawaii area, the Big Island, still seeing some movement around Pahala and some scattered activity across Kilauea Volcano. Let's do a quick glance here at the Kilauea Volcano update that was put out today, the 21st. On Kilauea, the volcano is currently not erupting. One of these days, that is not going to be the case. We are still elevating the inflation there around the summit area of Kilauea Volcano. So the pressurization of the summit magma reservoir has been ongoing since the end of September 2023. So we're still looking at a high level of inflation. And they don't really mention it anymore, but this is the highest level of inflation since 2018. I noticed they've taken that out of the past couple updates. Before, they were mentioning how the inflation data is at its highest time seen since the 2018 eruption. So they've mentioned it. I keep saying it. Let's go check out the tilt meter. I'm not for sure why they took it out, but let's see here. Are we working? Hello. There we go. So let's check out Kilauea Volcano and the tilt meter and maybe a webcam or two. Out here from the USGS site, still elevated. Look at that. Although we're leveling off slightly in the last few hours, we're still up there. Each step, each event getting higher and higher than the one before. So this level is now at its highest level of inflation. That's the pressurization going on below the ground, the magma accumulation there at the summit region, southwest rift zone and southeast rift zone area. The highest time since 2018. So we got something brewing, obviously, right? Just a matter of time before things kick back up in terms of eruptive fissure activity. Now, we would see earthquake activity really start to kick up before things break through. Right now, we're not seeing that. There's no visible lava, no visible anything really, aside from volcanic gases out here across the summit region, which is normal and typical for the volcanic gases to find their way up to the surface through the tiniest of cracks below. But it's still building underneath the area, folks. A lot of potential, I think, here exists as we head towards the next eruption there across Kilauea Volcano. Question is, how much higher can it go? How much more tilt, how much more inflation can the tilt meter pick up? All right, let's see what else we got here. Iceland. Let's check out Iceland activity real quick here. Another volcano we're kind of keeping an eye on, right? Well, Iceland's got many volcanoes, but more specifically around the Grindavik area, noticing a little bit of a northward migration here across the area in terms of earthquake activity. The latest fissure activity, of course, has been confined here just around the Hagefeld area southward. Of course, we had that one back in December that opened up north here, but our most recent one was right around here. And then that one that opened up here in town, roughly right about here, I believe. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of earthquake activity here today, but we're still kind of watching that. The GPS inflation charts here still continue to show inflation. Let me show you guys here real quick. This is the upward displacement, vertical displacement, inflation still going up. This is around the Svart-Singi area. If we check out Grindavik, which is on the 8-hour runtime, we'll go down here and check this out. There's all sorts of charts here, and I know there's a lot of numbers and stuff, but we're more concerned around the Grindavik area, which is right here. So we're still looking like we are going up. I believe this is the one that went offline due to the lava hitting it. I think covered it up there. So that one is out of commission. This is our latest one here, and it still shows some uptick, inflation. Now, it shows a drop off here, but I believe that is only because of we had a little bit of an eruption there, obviously, right? Some output in the volume of magma, but this, you can't go up and up here on the chart, so they have to displace this onto the bottom here. But you can see we're still going up, and we have been going up, so that's the concern there, because this is underneath Grindavik area. And well, there's the one that's underneath Grindavik. This is the did they switch these up on me? Let me see here real quick. What happened to our other Grindavik sites? Svartsengi. Yeah, see there, they took one down, it looks like. There was a couple Grindavik stations up here. But this is still within that region of Grindavik, so the land obviously is still showing some upward displacement there, and it has been for a while. Yeah, they took a couple of those off, but either way, I think we still need to be on guard. All right, I'll have to check back on that later. That's a little odd. Let's go back here, see if we got anything else going on out in the Atlantic Ocean that may stir things up. What I look for is earthquake activity in and around the vicinity of Iceland. That we've seen that kick up previously before any eruption activity back in December, and the one more recently. Right now, we're not seeing anything up there aside from some small microquake activity on the Iceland chart. But keep an eye on that. We'll continue to report back on any changes that take place. There's that one earthquake up here in the Kuril-Kamchatka from last night. Doesn't look like anything else has stirred back up there today. Looks fairly quiet. It looks a lot quieter over here across the area than what it did yesterday. And really no signs of any unusual activity following all that movement, aside from South America today. All that big time activity yesterday. Looks like it's triggering a little swarming down here across this area today. Something up north as well, 5.2 across the area of Colombia here. This one this morning, it looks like 9 o'clock this morning, 5.2. Definitely adding strain against this entire plate boundary here. So keep an eye on it. From north to south, it's just shown a lot of noticeable uptick since yesterday's super deep 6.6. All right, what else we got? New Zealand, anything going on down there in New Zealand? Seen Australia had some hot temperatures here. New Zealand a little warm as well. A couple threes stirring up down there, it looks like overnight. Let's go give a quick glance here at the New Zealand quake site. This is the site that Timothy here runs, a moderator on the channel. Got a fairly simple layout here. Strongest earthquake going to be this 4.6 up along the Kermadec Trench, way up here. Latest magnitude earthquake of 2.2. Looks like that is off the north coast here of the South Island area. Not really seeing anything major going on, but just some smaller quakes, it looks like, out here across the area. 3.6 being reported. Continue to watch that, see if anything comes of the area. But looking up here, looking north, things are awfully quiet here today. This earthquake was from yesterday, so this whole area has gone awfully quiet for the most part. All right, what else do we have across the area? 4.6 being reported out there across the western Afghanistan area. A little odd. Of course, we did see some movement out here. Oh, it's been a couple months now, but they did have a decent amount of swarming out here and some large earthquake activity in an unusual area, because we don't see a whole lot of earthquake movement out here, specifically in this region. But showing a little bit of activity today still with a 4.5. Rest of the area looks fairly quiet. There's that 6-pointer down in the southwest Indian Ridge from yesterday. One little lonesome earthquake up here. I'm surprised the USGS is showing that. 2.8. Bosnia area, it looks like. The Earthquake 3D globe shows a handful of smaller quakes out there, but nothing big to report for now. South Africa area looks like we got some 3-pointer and a 4.1. USGS not picking up on that. So we'll continue to watch things, folks, and report back on any changes. We do have a chance of some thunderstorms out here, West Coast, Arizona, and a big portion of Texas, but nothing severe. No severe potential out here. We do have a decent storm system knocking on the door. This is going to be a little bit more stronger today. I'm hoping for some more rain. Oh, that looks like it's right over me, the rainfall accumulation rate. So I like that. That's going to bring in some decent amount of precipitation here. Later on this evening and overnight is when we're supposed to see the majority of it kick in. And then after that, well, you know, it looks to remain active as we head into February across the West Coast. And things could get interesting in terms of severe weather potential out here as well. We're getting, you know, closer to spring a little bit. But we got these colder storms interacting with some of the warmer air here across Texas. And, yeah, that could spell some potential for some thunderstorms and severe weather. Let me check out the accumulated precipitation out here. Now, if I'm lucky, if I'm in that band of rain out there across the West Coast or across Northern California here, that looks a little south of me around Kilauea County, hoping that shifts up a little bit north, but it could go either way. It could be north or even further south. But, yeah, it looks like we could pick up maybe an inch or two of rainfall here overnight from this system. And then as we add more systems onto this weather model, well, I'm hoping and got my fingers crossed that this will stay solid in the forecast. This is a ways out, going into the first week of February. Things can change, but that's why I keep looking at these runs just to see if they're all in agreement, each consecutive run here. And it looks like we'll see some decent precipitation out here. We definitely need it for sure. That's a GFS run. The ECMWF model doesn't quite go that far. And these guys are not really predicting as much of a rainmaker tonight for California. Looks like maybe up around 3/4 of an inch of rain, maybe an inch across this area. So, you know, take your pick, ECMWF model or the GFS. I kind of go, you know, I'd like to go with the one that shows the most precipitation. But realistically, it could be a split between the two of these, which we'll have to just keep an eye on. The CMC shows a little bit more aggressive across the area. All right, I'm out of here, folks. It is Sunday. Goodness, Monday classes for me tomorrow. Can't believe it's already starting up. So I'm going to be busy here trying to get some stuff ready for spring semester classes coming up already. Be doing that for the next couple months here. So my mind will be busy, but I will still be here updating and providing daily updates and whatnot. That's not going away. Have a good one, folks. We'll catch you guys back out here tonight, Sunday night, for the Sunday night update. Stay safe and have a good one out there.